Hey guys, PokeDan here. In the past 20 years, the Pokemon anime has had massive success. Everyone loves tuning into the show to see what shenanigans the main character, Ash Ketchum, will get up to next. Whether he's battling a gym leader, catching a new Pokemon, or even if it's just a filler episode. Ash Ketchum makes watching the Pokemon anime worthwhile. But it's not just him. Every season of the anime sees Ash travel with different companions. And I wanted to shine the spotlight on these characters and their Pokemon. So today, you join me to count down the top 10 iconic Pokemon owned by Ash's friends. I say iconic Pokemon owned by the characters and not favourite, because I don't know, that wouldn't be so fair. And if you guys disagree with the Pokemon I chose for each of Ash's friends, then be sure to let me know down in the comment section. Also, let me know about more characters down below because I couldn't fit them all on this list. Oh, and the characters that I do mention in the video, they aren't really ranked. So don't be too upset if your favourite isn't at number 1. But with all that being said, let's get started with the video. Kicking it off for this video, we have Tracy. Now, even though this character isn't the most well-known or even well-loved, he travelled with Ash for a little bit during the Orange Island saga, and it's fair to say that he's good friends with Ash. For this character, I feel like he didn't have a lot of Pokemon that are well known, but he did have one Pokemon that he's known for using, and that is Marill. For the tiny amount of time that we saw Tracy in the anime, he quite often used his Marill, and it was even his signature Pokemon when he became Professor Oak's assistant. Later on in the anime, Tracy gave Misty an egg that was produced by his Marill, and it later hatched to be Misty's Azurill. So yeah, fair to say Marill is a Pokemon that Tracy is well known for using. Next up on the list, we have the character Silent. And it's pretty easy to decide what his best known Pokemon is. Of course, Silent is known for having his Pansage. Throughout the Unova anime, these characters got on really well, and it was pretty obvious that they both cared for each other. What I liked most about Silent and Pansage is that they aren't only paired together in the anime, but also in the games, and it's nice to see these two characters you didn't really pay attention to in the games become so important in the anime. Silent also caught other Pokemon like his Crustle and Stunfisk, and even though he was pretty close with them, fair to say that Pansage is definitely his best known Pokemon. Iris is yet another friend of Ash's, and she is known as the energetic Dragon-type Pokemon fan from the Unova series. Even though Iris liked to use Dragon-type Pokemon, she really didn't own a lot of them. However, her most iconic Pokemon still happens to be a Dragon-type, and it is Axew. When the Unova series first started, Axew was a pretty baby-like Pokemon. However, as the anime progressed, we got to see this Pokemon grow stronger and stronger. Quite often, Axew liked to hide in Iris's hair. And when I was younger, I honestly thought that this was pretty cool. Another reason why I like Iris's Axew is because, well, it's adorable. Axew would quite often do goofy things, and I was a fan of the friendship that it had with Ash's Pikachu. Even though Iris had other awesome Pokemon, Axew is definitely her most iconic. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have one of Ash's Kalos travelling companions. It's Clement. As I'm sure you guys know, Clement is a lover of all things tech, and also he is the leader of the Lumio City Gym. He has quite a few Pokemon to choose from when it comes to who his most iconic partner is. And I gotta say, both Bunnelby and Dedenne were close to taking this spot, but in the end, I think that Chespin is more iconic for Clement. All you Dedenne fans out there are probably shaking your head in disagreement right now, but as much as I love this little guy, Dedenne is just more iconic for Bonnie, even if it is technically Clement's capture. The reason I think that Chespin is Clement's most iconic Pokemon is because not only did it have buckets of personality, but it clearly enjoyed being in Clement's company. So yeah, number 7 belongs to Clement and Chespin. The next spot on this list belongs to one of Ash's friends from Alola. It's Lily, and obviously the Pokemon that she's most known for owning is her Alolan Vulpix. Before I go into any further detail for this entry, I just want to say that I only decided to include one of Ash's Alola friends because honestly, there are so many of them. And Lily is one of the more well known, and she has a really iconic partner. Lily first met Snowy the Vulpix when it hatched from an egg. At first, she was too afraid to touch it, but not long after, Snowy helped her to get over her fear of touching Pokemon. Like Lily, Snowy's personality is also really friendly. And it's nice to see these two characters get on so well. Maybe one day Snowy will evolve, and Lily will be known for owning an Alolan Ninetales, but for now, Snowy remains as a Vulpix. Another one of Ash's more well-known companions is Serena, and she makes it at the number 5 spot on this video. The thing is, with Serena, she lacks having a big quantity of Pokemon on her team. However, saying that, the Pokemon that she does own are all iconic within their own rights. But obviously, out of all of the Pokemon that she's captured, Serena's most iconic is her Braixen. These two characters first met when Serena chose Fennekin as her starter Pokemon. Fennekin didn't start off being a strong fighter, but with Serena's help, it learned to fight and it even managed to evolve too. As a Braixen, this Pokemon was one that Serena relied on quite a lot, and often used it in battles and showcases. And Serena using this Pokemon also made the starter even more popular. As you guys may know, Serena is one of the most popular Pokemon characters out there, and she certainly has a worthy partner in her Braixen. Coming in at the number 4 spot is yet another popular friend of Ash Ketchum's, and it is May. May was the Pokegirl that travelled with Ash and friends during the Hoenn anime, and she had a pretty full team with a lot of great Pokemon on it. But obviously, there's only one Pokemon that is her most iconic, and that is her Blaziken. Just like Serena, May started off as a new trainer, and she wasn't too experienced in Pokemon battling. But with Torchic by her side, both characters developed as the Hoenn anime progressed. For most of its time in the anime, this Pokemon was best known as May's Combuskin, and both of these characters really cared for each other. May often relied on using her starter Pokemon in battle, and it was often by her side, helping in whatever situation when needed. So for that, May's Blaziken is for sure her most iconic Pokemon. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Brock, and I gotta say, it was probably the most difficult to choose a Pokemon that is most iconic for Brock, because he's had a couple of well-known Pokemon. In the end, I settled for Brock Steelix being his most iconic Pokemon. And hear me out. When Brock Steelix was an Onix for so long in the first few series of the anime, it was a well-known Pokemon on his team. It was used in lots of battles and was even the main Pokemon used in Brock's gym battle versus Ash. Later on in the anime, Brock's Onix ended up evolving into Steelix, and this thing was even bigger, even stronger, and even more terrifying. When Ash returned to Kanto during the Sun and Moon anime, it was also revealed that Brock Steelix could Mega Evolve, and it just goes to show how much this Pokemon has progressed throughout the anime. So, fair to say, Brock Steelix is his most iconic Pokemon. Taking the number 2 spot on today's video is one of Ash's original travelling companions. Of course, I'm talking about Misty. This loud-mouthed redhead was a good friend of Ash's and travelled with him through the Kanto and Johto regions. Because she appeared so much in the anime, fair to say, she caught quite a few iconic Pokemon. But her most iconic definitely has to be her Togetic, better known as her Togepi. During the Kanto series, Ash, Brock, and Misty found a mysterious Pokemon egg, and as we all know, this egg hatched to be Togepi, and it joined Misty's team. Togepi was always a happy Pokemon, and it had a really nice brotherly relationship with Ash's Pikachu. Later on in the Hoenn anime, Misty's Togepi ended up evolving, and due to events that happened in the Mirage Kingdom, Misty had to release Togetic. And this was one of the saddest moments to ever come out of the Pokemon anime. Misty's Togetic was definitely her most iconic Pokemon, and hopefully one day we'll see it return. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot on this list is Dawn. Dawn travelled with Ash during his journey through the Sinnoh region, and even though she owned a lot of amazing Pokemon, her most well-known and iconic has to be her starter, Piplup. Piplup and Dawn experienced so much together during their time in the anime. They experienced Piplup's struggle with evolution, Dawn's losses, and so much more. And after all of this, they're still a really strong duo who care a lot for one another. When Dawn and Piplup returned in the Unova anime, so many fans were happy to see the pair, myself included. And it was cool to see Ash also reference Piplup later on in the Kalos anime. As a massive fan of the Sinnoh anime, I'm a little bit biased. I love these characters, but that doesn't change the fact that Dawn and Piplup are one iconic duo. But anyway guys, with all that being said, that pretty much wraps things up for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what other iconic Pokemon owned by Ash's friends are. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokéDan, you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.